the judges and the judge timer are ready. How do you tie a figure eight or a bowline knot? Well, there are two main ways. The fast way is to take your headphones, put them in your pocket, leave them there a few hours, and then pull them out again. Chances are you'll have at least one of these knots. But the easy way is to listen to what I'm about to tell you very carefully. Knots are an ancient invention, yet they are important still today. The New York Times says that on NASA's Mars rover Curiosity, cables are tied down with a variation of the reef knot. But the reef knot was mentioned by Pliny the Elder in his Natural History, written in AD 77. Although knots are an ancient craft, they are still very valuable. Knowing how to tie the right knot at the right time can not only be educational and fun, but could save someone's life in extreme circumstances. You obviously want a very strong knot if you're climbing up a mountainside. But enough historical trivia and appealing to fear. I'll get on to the demonstration part. I will show you how to tie 4 knots. The figure eight, the sheet bend, the bowline, and the clove hitch. According to the Dangerous Book for Boys by Con and Hal Iggulden, which is where I've gotten a lot of the information for this speech, these are, quote, knots every boy should know, unquote. I have a suspicion that girls could benefit too. Although I do not consider myself to be too dangerous, I am a boy and I have used these knots on occasion. I will start with the figure eight because it's simple and easy to tie, and you probably almost know how to tie it if you know how to tie your shoes. When you tie your shoes, you usually begin with a starter knot, right? Cross the ends, then take a free end and poke it through the loop. When you pull, it ends up looking like a pretzel or a heart. Now the figure eight is similar except it has, literally, an extra twist. When you cross the ends, don't poke the end through the loop yet. Wrap it around the main rope, that's the extra twist, and then you can poke it through the loop. When you pull, it ends up looking like the numeral 8, hence the figure eight. If you've ever wanted to thread a rope through a hole but didn't want it to slip through, the figure eight is the knot for you. When you apply a weight to the rope, the figure eight squishes into a triangle shape and holds the rope in place. People also use this knot for rock climbing. Now for the bowline, which I have been told is the most important knot to know. It produces a strong and steady loop. Here's how to tie it. First, make a loop. Then take your free end and wrap it around the object you're tying it to. Take the end, poke it through the loop, underneath the main rope, and back through the loop. When you pull, you've created the bowline. Now I can tell you about the smiley face knots. There are a group of knots that I call the smiley face knots because the formation of the knot looks a bit like a smiley face. Now this may not be easy to see because it's just white rope, so I will draw it on with a Sharpie for you. You can see that this knot looks like a smiley face. Another application of this knot is a sliding loop. Take the bowline, wrap it around your object, take the free end, and poke it through the loop. When you pull, the knot adjusts to the size of the object you're tying it to. Like perhaps your dog if he's decided a Thanksgiving turkey was for him this year. But what if your rope is too short? The sheet bend joins 2 ropes together. Not only that, it can join together 2 ropes of different sizes. The reason I mention this is because some knots that are used to join 2 ropes fail when you try to join 2 ropes of different sizes, but the sheet bend works well. And if you're actually trying to escape out your window, you might tie your sheets together with this useful knot. Here's how to tie it. First, make a loop. Pretend it's the eye of a needle. Then, thread the needle. Take your thread, wrap it around the eye of the needle, and tuck it underneath itself, but not back through the needle. When you pull, you've created the sheet bend, which you can also see as a smiley face knot. I like this knot because it's asymmetrical aside from being practical, and it sends the 2 ends off it. It's sort of a right angle thing, which is sort of cool. Finally, we have come to the clove hitch. Now you may already be acquainted with this knot if you have ever seen in a cowboy movie where the cowboy ties his horse to the hitching post by wrapping the rope around it really fast. You may very well have been using this knot. There are a couple ways to tie it. The first way, make a loop, cross them, put it over your object, and pull. Done. See, the rope is connected to the to the post. Now the problem is, you can't always do this. For example, if you were trying to tie it to a 20-foot tall lamppost, most people can't reach over the top. So you would have to tie it the slightly harder way. Wrap it around your object, cross it up, wrap it around, and then tuck it underneath where you crossed it. You've created the same knot, just in a slightly different way. Now you can enter the saloon in peace knowing your horse has been tethered safely. So the next time you're in jail and you have a few pieces of rope in your pocket and you want to break out, here's what to do. Tie them together with sheet bends, with figure eights and instances for handholds. With a clove hitch around your waist and a bowline around the bars of the window, you now have to figure out how to cut the bars of the window. Sorry, better luck next time. Knots are a wonderful invention. Knowing how to tie knots properly can take continued practice, but it will be worth it in the end. For example, if you were trying to put up an outdoor clothesline, you might put bowlines at either end to ensure it will be up there for a little while. Or if you were returning from the hardware store with a load of shovels you couldn't quite fit in your cart, perhaps you would tie a clove hitch around them to keep them all together. And if you're returning from a very long and frustrating day at work and you feel like you're just at the end of your rope, can't take it much longer, well, make a loop and tie a sheet bend for some extra length to get you through the rest of your day. Thank you.